Welcome, wonderful people, to the Sunday Rune and Card reading. Welcome back to anyone who's already following my readings or is a part of this wonderful YouTube community that we are building. Guys, thank you so much for your likes, shares, comments, and for subscribing, because that does help to, it helps me to keep putting free stuff into the world. Anyone that is new to this amazing YouTube community that we are kind of building here, the AZ of emotional health. I'm Jenny Florence. Welcome to the Sunday reading. I do big monthlies, which I've just posted for February. I put all sorts of free stuff into the world, actually. I'm very dedicated to walking the pathway of the spiritual warrior and aligning with others who do the same, which is pretty much what this channel has become about, I think. Now, I was drawn particularly today as I was meditating into the energy of this reading to use and connect in with certain cycles of the moon. I actually dowsed these. So I guess just before I tell you a little bit about them to hopefully help you, guide you into whichever of these readings is going to be right for you. Sometimes it's more than one. Just welcome to anyone who's new. Now, as I said, I put a lot of free stuff into the world. If you check out the information box below, you will be able to find out more about that stuff. There's a whole library of things. Whole library, the A to Z of emotional health, is actually a free online library. It's a resource. You can access so much stuff there in terms of helping to navigate life from a position of empowerment, of awareness. I also give away a free private reading once a month to one of my subscribers. I'll be making that announcement really soon, as we are now in February. I'll be making the announcement for January. I'll also be drawing some names out of a hat to receive a pack of the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards as soon as they are ready. I thought they'd be birthed into the world in January. We've had delays. Those of you who are following the progress will know about that. There is, for anyone wanting to be updated, there is now a mailing list. It's again, there's a link in the information box below. If you register your email address, I will update you as soon as these cards go live. And in fact, you'll get the heads up in advance. And because they are a limited edition run, the first print will be a limited edition. You'll get to reserve a pack and also pre-order at a discounted rate. So if that's something that interests you, be sure to register. So guys, let's just tune in. We have 3 readings. Reading 1, reading 2, and reading 3. In no particular order. I would tend to normally start with cycles of the moon with the new moon, but in fact that was when I dowsed, that was for reading number 2. I'm actually going to just read you a little bit from the Art of Manifestation Astro-Moon diary, because this is where there's a lot of information about the moons. So reading number 1, the energy of the Balsamic moon. The Balsamic moon asks you to trust. Hold your vision and yet simultaneously let go of any attachment to specific outcomes. This moon heralds a time of preparation and nurture, a time to fertilize the ground in anticipation of the coming new moon and of any new seeds that you may wish to sow. Keep your energy clean and be particularly aware of your personal energetic resonance. Self-responsibility can be understood to mean our ability to be responsive to ourselves. From an energetic perspective, be sure to cleanse yourself of anything that clings and that may no longer be serving you. Center yourself in the knowledge that as this monthly lunar phase comes to its completion, you can engage in preparing the ground for your own deliverance, making space within for the emergence of a new cycle of opportunity. Validate, acknowledge, and cherish all that you have achieved during this last phase of manifestation, and in your reflections, remember that there is no wrong way. Anything that appears to have been a wrong turn or a mistake will have led you to exactly the place that you need to be right now, bringing you the awareness that you needed to take fresh new steps as we approach the coming energy of the next new moon. So that is the energy of the Balsamic moon, and the guidance from this that is guiding us into reading number 1. Reading number 2, the new moon. The new moon is traditionally associated with the setting of intentions, and so the energy at this time naturally invites us to meditate into a space of possibility. If you are a daily meditator, you may already find that for the 2 days before and the 2 days after the new moon, your mind may be inclined to wander during your meditations. If this is the case, you may find it helpful to have a pen and paper close by, or indeed use the journaling pages. That's if you were using this diary, there are journaling pages in it. Anyway, it just makes a reference to that. But the gist of it is, make a note of any ideas that come to you during your meditation practice. Personally, during this phase of the moon, I find myself naturally drawn to walking meditations. Consciously make the effort to spend time outdoors and immerse yourself in nature, and whatever your preferred way of finding stillness, calm your mind and enter your own dream time. Let your mind wander into the depths of the new moon energy and give yourself permission to dream big. I would also say, guys, at the time of the new moon, and again, this is the energy that's flavouring reading number 2, I would actually go outside. I would, if I can, seek to see the new moon. I know if it's cloudy we can't, but you know, that 4-day period, I'd be really trying to go outside and do a little bit of a meditation during the evening time in the dark, when I can connect to that new moon energy and to actually sort of visibly see her. And in reading number 3, we have the Gibbous moon. In the time of the Gibbous moon, energy is building, passions are high and dreams are calling to be made real. Ideas begin to take shape and the pathway forwards gains clarity. Taking time to hold intentions and any vision for the future in mind, I ground myself in the present moment and I request guidance in knowing which steps to take in the here and now before turning my decisions into acts of doing. It's a very interesting energy. You can see there's a really different flavour to each of these readings. Take time to celebrate the joy to be found in the excitement of anticipation, whilst remaining present and grounded. Hold your vision, but treasure the here and now moments of your journey and be available to receive guidance. Stay on track, but simultaneously be open to any course corrections that you are guided towards. I just want to place these cycles for anyone that isn't aware of them. The Balsamic moon is effectively the last phase of the moon before we then come into the new moon. The new moon, I think we all know, the new moon is the beginning of a new cycle. The Gibbous moon is after the new moon. We go to the crescent moon and then we go to the first quarter and then the Gibbous moon. So we would then move on to the full moon. So we're building energy towards the full moon. So I don't know if that helps, but placing those cycles, that kind of energy into your mind. So I'm going to put the diary down. Reading 1, reading 2 and reading 3. You might want to just spend a little bit of time, pause the video if you wish to. I am going to try and work out, I haven't yet done it for this reading, but I'm going to try and work out how to place little markers in the video itself. I am learning this stuff, so in terms of the technology, but so hopefully in future readings you'll get to a point where you'll be able to whiz straight through easily. At the moment you'll just see on the screen below you and also in the information box there are the timings, so you can access whichever reading is calling to you. Some people find more than one speaks to them, and the messages are often a collaboration of the 2 readings, and sometimes people come back later in the week. They're drawn back to a different reading. So I will leave you with that. So much love to you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for your love, support, and just your feedback to me has been mind-blowing, as is your feedback and support of one another. Guys, you are absolutely inspirational. Namaste. Love to you all. Welcome to reading number 1. Let's check out our runes first. We have the rune of disruption. going to check where that sits in camera. That should be okay. So just place them here, and then we'll move things around as we turn over the cards. The rune of disruption, the rune of separation, and the rune of joy. Awesome. Just going to place the balsamic moon energy up here. The rune of disruption, very, very interesting. It's like the need to break free, the need for the psyche to break free from some kind of situation, some kind of a restriction. Sometimes it suggests that something happens to cause us to, it's like it shakes us up. The energy of it shakes us up, but there is always purpose behind it. The rune of separation says that it can sometimes be a rune of inheritance. The inheritance it speaks of will always be kind of in the loss of something. The rune of separation, it's like you've outgrown something. So we have a need to break free, you've outgrown something. And then we have the rune of joy. This is a fruit-bearing rune. This is something coming to fruition. Let's see what our cards are showing up here. So first of all, oh, this is interesting. So we have the 9. This is, we have 9 of Pentacles. Let's sit our runes just here, actually. I never know quite how we're going to lay cards out until we start turning them over. Reading number 1 is always the trial one, really. Okay, 9 of Pentacles. Guys, celebration, validation, much deserved, achievement, accomplishment. Yeah, I want to say, wherever you are, whatever you're breaking free from, whatever you're leaving behind, the gains are there because you've worked for them. You deserve where you are right now. You really, really do. Okay, here we go. Let's place these one either side. This is interesting. So we have the 9 of Fire. Again, fruition, confidence, achievement, attainment, giving your best. It's like doing for the sake of doing. And then we have the card of journey. I'm very into my runes, as you can tell. The card of journey. This is interesting because this is like what I'm actually hearing is choices. You have more than one direction open to you. I think you've reached a pause. This is coming to the end of a cycle of something. It's quite a natural cycle as well. You're ready to move. You are actually ready to move on from something, whatever that is in your unique individual circumstances. You've learned from your experiences. It's really interesting. We talked about responsiveness, responsibility. Self-responsibility is our ability to be responsive to ourselves. The rune of journey, it's like there's a wisdom in this. What else have we got? Pluto transformation. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Sun in reverse. Let me just sit with this and see whether that is remaining in reverse. My inclination is to turn it up the right way. But what I hear is there's a duality in the message here. Let me just move these cards over because we're going to need enough room to spread the others out as well. You are making decisions. There we go, lovely. The cycles of the moon. This is beautifully tuned in. I think everything's in camera, isn't it? Awesome. Okay. The duality of this message, the sun, new beginnings, new opportunities, source energy available for you. King of Cups. You've really worked to be here. This is a reading of, it is a reading of fruition. You've worked hard and yet you've also kind of reached a plateau. You're having to evaluate and decide which way to go. It's like there's more than one opportunity, and I think there's some indecisiveness, or to know, it's almost like not knowing what to do next. You've worked really, really hard. You're in this space. I really want to encourage you to stop and smell the roses. You know that sort of saying? It's like we can achieve a goal, and it's almost like we then head off after the next goal without really stopping to celebrate and acknowledge and recognize and validate our achievements in that moment. there is a transformation. You have not only come through a transformation, but you're about to start a new phase of something. But there's a lot of joy here. A lot of joy. There's a lot of celebration. Give yourself permission to stop. Sometimes we just need to slow down and rest up. And yet so often we keep on pushing and pushing, even though there are clear signs that we should stop. Taking time out now will allow you to replenish your energy and return revitalized with an abundance of focused energy. The cycles of the moon. This card invites you to attune yourself with the rhythms of the moon. Notice how the phases of the moon affect your energy and learn to use these energetic shifts within you to enhance your capacity to be consciously co-creative in all aspects of your life. We then have opportunity. This card speaks of new opportunities. Although they may not necessarily come in the form that you were expecting. Be alert, look beyond the obvious, be prepared for opportunities disguised as loss. This is the rune of separation. Opportunities disguised as loss, disruption. If a new pathway opens for you, trust that it is leading you in the direction that you are meant to go. Guys, I feel like you've reached a plateau or a cycle is coming to an end. Let me move our balsamic moon here. That looks really, really, that kind of, the energy of that just completes the way these cards have naturally laid themselves out. You are able to understand how you've got to here. I just want to show you some detail in this card. I love that this card has a butterfly and a dragonfly. Both are symbols of transformation. And there are two directions that you could go in, but you stand in a space of wisdom. You've not only come through a transition, but you've learned from it. You've learned from the past. You have a level of awareness that allows you to walk a pathway of much greater vision, much greater, you're on solid ground. Source energy is with you. The duality of this message, and it's coming through very clearly. In one way, source energy is with you for a new beginning, completely, or a new phase, and you're on solid ground, you really are. However, the duality of it was don't rush into it. Don't rush to seek the next goal. Pause, rest, take time out. As this cycle ends, if you allow yourself to pause and be still, the clarity or the opportunities, a doorway of opportunity, I believe, will be opening for you. It's almost as though you have achieved a really solid foundation in this last phase of whatever it is that you have been working on. And this is well deserved. There's a real sense of fruition. But you are being invited not to rush into the next goal-orientated phase. Take your time. Cherish what you have. Take time out. Celebrate where you are. And use the time out to evaluate. I believe opportunities will be shown to you. They may come in the form of loss, of separation. It may be you are leaving something behind. But you are doing so by choice and with awareness. You're ready, you're itching to break free and move on to the next. It's like you're wanting to get to the next creative venture. But again, just slow down, allow the energy to work with you. That was the duality of this card. The energy is with you, but allow yourself to be creative with the energy. And that does involve playing with ideas. Give yourself opportunity to play with ideas, to sit with the energy. And it's almost like, I would almost like from the balsamic moon moving into the space of the new moon, that sort of phase in the cycles of the moon. It's like you're in this phase where you need to be able to celebrate and evaluate where you are and be open to receive guidance in terms of new direction. It may come in the form of loss, disruption, but there will be purpose to it. But guys, this has a lovely, like ready to go, excited, and yet needing to just allow it to emerge kind of energy. But Yeah, you're moving forwards, you're moving on to a new phase, and the transformation that you have been through, it's touched you at a very deep level. So just, as I said, lean into that space of who you are, the learning you've done. Absolutely awesome. Directions, opportunities are coming your way. Don't rush to make decisions, because there may well be more than one route you can go. I believe there is probably more than one route, more than one direction. And if you allow yourselves to sort of meditate into the energy, just engage with everyday, I was about to say normal life, I voiced this in one of the other readings, you know, whatever normal is, you know, fill me in when you work it out. You know, we'll write a book. But, you know, really this is about, yeah, just relax into this space of allowing something to unfold. Opportunities are going to present themselves, I believe, for the new phase, and I think your direction will become clear. Namaste. So much love to you. Welcome to reading number 2, guided by the new moon. We have the rune of self. We have the rune of partnership, and we have the rune of breakthrough. It's a powerful combination. Okay, I'm just going to place our new moon card up. A new moon card, it's not a card, our new moon image up here. And let's see what the cards are showing. I'm going to just check in on this, because this is a very fascinating combination, and I'd like to see what we're being shown in the cards as well. King of Pentacles. Okay. Okay, guys, so this is a card of success, a card of wealth. There's something quite solid about where you're at. And yet I want to say there's a slight yearning here as well for something. Maybe that is that you are yearning for relationship. Are you yearning to connect with someone? Are you in a space of yearning to share? This is lovely. We have a card of love, and we have the card of heaven and earth. Wow, this is a card of union, of partnership too. I mean, the heaven and earth card, okay, it speaks of a spirit, you know, it's like the spirit within the human body. It's like the recognition that a human life is a soul on an evolutionary journey within the human experience. But this is really interesting, because I want to say, are you guys, either you have just met a soulmate connection, or you are striving and yearning for one. Striving's the wrong word, yearning. Yes, new moon. This is what your intentions are about, I think, guys. You're looking for a soulmate connection, or you've met someone and you're questioning whether they are a soulmate connection. Let's just see what our other cards are showing. Okay, we have Aquarius, I know. This is a lovely energy. 6 of Wands, card of victory. 4 of Wands, oh look, an Ace of Cups, new love. Okay, it's safe to relax, take a risk, and we have the card of which direction. This is a curious combination, but yeah, do you know, if this wasn't a Sunday card, well, I've just realised you're probably not in camera, are we? We're going to shift the camera over. No, I'm going to move the cards along. Let me move everything along so that everything is in view for you guys. It's just, it feels important to be able to focus in on that energy. So this is an interesting reading. I mean, they all are. That's a silly thing to say, really, isn't it? But it's like there's more than one message coming through with a generic reading. I mean, if this was a big reading for one of the signs, I'd actually now be drawing more cards. I'd be wanting to connect in and get greater meaning. But actually what I'm hearing is there are several different meanings coming through, because you're in different spaces within you. This is all connected to relationship, and it's all connected to intimate relationship. I don't think this is business partnership. I know the King of Pentacles sometimes speaks of financial gain, but I think this is about intimacy. This is about purity of love. It's about soulmate connections. Now, for some of you, it's that you're seeking. So I'm going to go through the different messages I'm hearing. For some of you, you're seeking a soulmate connection. For some of you, you've met someone and you're questioning whether or not they are a soulmate connection. It's like you're reticent. You've been through some kind of a challenge or some kind of a difficulty, and it's like there's fear or anxiety around opening yourself up. It's almost like you're a little bit guarded. I think you were used before. The King of Pentacles, he has quite a look about him where he's slightly, I mean, he's got a lot of abundance. He's on solid ground within himself, and yet there's a slight dissatisfaction around him. So for some of you, there's reticence to, there's fear, you know, can you trust that this is the person? For some of you who are seeking that soulmate connection, it's like the danger of accepting, resigning yourself to the fact that you haven't yet met that person. So there's different messages coming through. For some of you, you're undecided, you're questioning whether this is somebody, whether you should actually trust someone, dare you trust again. This is the kind of energy that's around, but it's sort of different depending on, obviously, every reading is different for you each. What I love here is we have a card of victory, 6 of Wands. We have the 4 of Wands. This is a new chapter of life, a new beginning. Aquarius, I know. Guys, your higher self, your inner self, your deep, deep, deep inner knowing knows. You know that you are not alone. You know that you are connected. You know that you can tune in those higher moments. You know that the world will deliver. It's just that we can have these wobbles. We worry. The 4 of Wands, as I said, a new journey, new opportunities. 6 of Wands, victory. The journeying could also be, for some of you, a journey within yourself, where you are travelling inwards in order to overcome this anxiety, this fear. Self-love, of course, when we are in a space of being in love with ourselves, with all of life, we radiate and we draw into us. Ace of Cups, new beginnings, new relationships. Breakthrough rune. This is a 180-degree turn. Sometimes we change direction, we shift. For some of you, there's also, I'm hearing again, there's a lot of messages coming through in this reading. So it's going to impact on you guys in different ways. I know any reading will, but for some of you, there's been so much focus on your career path. By necessity, you've needed to do that, but it's closed you down energetically to the possibility of relationship, or it's fueled an imbalance where you haven't invested enough in relationship. You've been investing, for good reasons, but it's created an imbalance. For some of you, as I said, you've been through some tough times and you've been afraid to actually let go. Again, even for some of you, there's a fear of letting go of the financial reins. It's like, dare you relax and spend time in relationship or in partnership because, money's been difficult and you've needed to place the emphasis of your energy in that direction. But this is a new beginning, a new opportunity, and we have this wonderful card of victory, success. This, by the way, is not success as in, da-da, you're there. This is success in terms of a phase. It's like a completion of something. You've got to a certain space where you're ready for something new. You are safe now. It is safe to relax. You've been through a major ordeal and you've been amazing. You've handled it all, but as a consequence, you've learned to live on high alert, and this needs to change. For some of you, this is emphasis on money. For some of you, it's like, dare you trust ever again. Your mind needs peace and your body needs to relax and repair. This card brings a message. You are safe now. It is okay to relax. Turn the volume down. Take a risk. Step out of your comfort zone. Feeling safe and secure is a wonderful experience, but if we remain in our safe zone for fear of change, we create We create a limiting and restrictive environment that can ultimately lead to stagnation and the loss of our creative potential to manifest our greatest contribution in the world. Let go of fear and take a risk. Very interesting, because this is really talking about relaxing in yourself, leaning into trust. And as I said, it's very focused around relationship, whether it's achieving a work-life balance where you contribute more to your relationship. You remember that we work to live, not live to work. Whether it's risking a new relationship, a new love, whether it's trusting that the person you've met is the right person, a soulmate connection. This is all of the messages that are streaming through. I want to just point out as well that the rune of the self, I just show you that. It's, I don't know if those of you that follow runes, you'll know the rune of joy, the rune of deliverance is like a P shape. This is like the mirror image. It's two runes of joy coming together in the center. It's about love. It's about purity of love, love of self. Again, work-life balance, recognizing what actually matters to us, the little things that matter, the daily things that make us feel alive, that make us feel love, that make us feel loved, and make us allow others to feel loved, those tiny little things that matter. Which direction? You have reached a turning point in your life. Do not be afraid of taking the wrong path. When you recognize the learning to be found at every step and in every moment of your journey, you will realize there is no wrong way, only the infinite gain of your personal growth and evolution. Guys, it is time to step out of a comfort zone, whatever that is meaning for you, whether work has become your safe zone. You know, like a shield to hide you, to protect you. You know, sometimes workaholics, yeah, it's amazing. You can put so much good into the world, but my goodness me, what is the price we pay for that? So many messages coming through in different ways here, guys. But this is a phase of breakthrough. There is opportunity for you to get centered, to connect to that higher guidance, that higher wisdom within you. Prepare to set new intentions, new affirmations. Allow yourself to step into the new. Wonderful, wonderful people. So much love to you. And yeah, just so much love. Welcome, awesome people, to reading number 3. We have the rune of harvest. That's awesome. We have the rune of fertility. Wow, guys, this one's happening, definitely. And we have the rune, the blank rune, the rune of infinite possibility. Wow, that's some energy. And I have to say, the Gibbous moon, the energy is building, and it's really feeling like that in this reading. I'll just get these cards lined up so that we can really get ready and laid out so that everything will actually be in camera. It takes me to the 3rd reading to kind of work out where the cards are sort of sitting so they lay out well. Okay, 4 of Cups. This is very, very interesting. 4 of Cups, it's like something's needing to shift. And that's interesting because we have the rune of harvest. Now, the rune of harvest speaks of a year, a period of a year. Ultimately, it's tuning into cycles. Again, it's really interesting. These readings have totally tuned into cycles. I think it is just the energy of the moon that really came through clearly in my meditations. But whatever the phase, it's like you're on the... This is like a rune of encouragement. There's almost a danger of you feeling as though something isn't going to happen. And in feeling that way, it's as though if something's offered to you, you might not actually connect in or see that opportunity. Okay, we have the Seneschal and we have 7 of water. Lovely energy. You're being asked to allow something to flow into being. It's almost as though your fears of something not happening are becoming the block to something from happening. I mean, this is an interesting card because it actually says that you hold the key. Back to our runes. Sorry, I feel like I'm jumping all over the place, which is an interesting energy to be sitting with here. Let's just see what our other cards are showing as well. Lunar eclipse, change. And this is, I mean, when we are in eclipse season, things can change very quickly. And it can actually throw us sometimes, the energy. Or we can feel like we're not on solid ground. Now, let me just turn all the cards over before I connect back into the runes, see what we're being shown. King of Wands, Page of Pentacles, Five of Swords. Okay, difficult emotions, stand your ground, and the card of independence. Right, let's shift these along so everything is in camera for you guys. So, I'm feeling like some of you are you're feeling a little bit challenged, okay, by something. It's almost as though things have been changing or taking place. I mean, stuff is building up, basically. But actually what's happening is the tension of the build-up is actually beginning to, it's like it's beginning to affect you to the point where it's blocking the flow of the energy. You actually hold the key to this. Now, the rune of fertility speaks of completion of beginnings. We need to complete something, free something up in order to make space for the new. The blank rune is amazing. It is the infinite source of possibilities that sit in the unknowable future. You are needing to stand your ground over something, and emotions are running high. Now this totally tunes in with the gibbous moon because we're building up to the full moon. In that phase of the cycle of the moon, we are beginning to build up. Passions can run high. Sometimes that means that it's really working for us and we're getting very excited, but by the time we get to the full moon, we've usually been able to identify what it is that we need to let go of or what's blocking us. Changes are taking place, and what I'm hearing is some of the changes are taking place around you, and it feels as though stuff is happening to you, and I think it's leaving you feeling as though you're on wobbly ground and that you don't have a choice. This reading is an affirmation of the fact that you do have choices. You can choose how you respond, and there is a lot of affirmation in this reading in a really positive way. Even though it feels as though stuff is changing around you, it's how you respond to those changes that is the kind of key to your personal empowerment. It's the key to the infinite source of possibilities that you have. Now, the King of Wands, you're asked to understand your situation. It's like look at it through the eyes of creativity. Look for a creative solution. And you may need to connect with others to do this. The Page of Pentacles, it's like you've sown seeds. You've been investing in something or in a situation or somebody or in yourself. You're actually asked to continue to invest in you. You will come through this situation. The Five of Swords is an outcome. You're moving through. But you are being asked to sort of simultaneously take things one sword at a time, dismantle the situation, look at it creatively, don't try to force it, allow it to flow, remain grounded, centered, be open to possibility. Now I'm just going to run through these cards because they have a great deal of significance here. I know obviously that's a silly thing to say because every card has a great deal of significance, that's how readings are, but there's just that these are quite powerful in this particular reading. Sometimes the Art of Manifestation oracle cards simply rub a stamp. They almost confirm the energy of the overall reading, but sometimes they come with such clear messages. Difficult emotions. This card asks you to listen to your emotions. Every emotion we have is necessary and important to us, even the challenging ones. Difficult feelings are letting you know that something is not okay. Learn to understand and love your emotions and discover how they serve you. Guys, if you are having trouble with emotions, do check in with my library, the free library, the A to Z of Emotional Health Library. Link in the information box below. There is a ton of stuff about emotions, including if you're feeling despondent, there's some really interesting stuff that I've made in there to do with managing despondency, despair, that kind of stuff. So if this situation has really got to you, check in there. There's also meditations, a whole series of meditations completely free to help you understand how to use your emotions as a source of empowerment. I mean, again, if you don't want to join the library, you can, they're in a playlist as well on the main A to Z of Emotional Health YouTube channel, this channel. Stand your ground. This card brings a clear message, whether in pragmatic action or in holding firm to your own principles and to your own opinions. Whatever your situation, do not give way. This is not a time to back down. The time is right to hold your own and stand your ground. There's been pressure, and the pressure is causing some of you to, I mean, it's building up, but it's almost as though the intensity of emotions is quite tough in response to this situation. You can find a creative solution here. You can stand back, get the higher vision, allow the universe to work with you. Changes are taking place around you, and they can change quite quickly. Don't wobble. There is a completion needed here. So many possibilities coming your way. It's just you're in this phase of transition and gestation, where something hasn't yet emerged. I always think the gibbous moon is like, as I said, things are building up, and when we get to the full moon, it's like things can burst forth. If we understand the way that our emotions serve us, I mean, again, I'm not here to plug my books, but Mindfulness meets Emotional Awareness. Guys, in fact, actually, guys, I tell you what, I will give away a copy of my book, Mindfulness Meets Emotional Awareness. I'll draw a copy, a name out of the hat, one of the subscribers, along with the reading and the drawing of the cards, and I will post it to somebody, and I'll trust it gets to the right person. That book will teach you how to manage all of your challenging emotions and how to use them as a source of empowerment. Independence. Independence is a wonderful attribute, but if taken to an extreme, it can border on isolation. If we have been hurt or let down or trapped in a codependent relationship, we lose faith in others and learn only to rely on ourselves. This card calls you to question this inner belief and to develop healthy, interdependent relationships with an equality of both giving and receiving. Clear message coming through. Some of you guys you've been in relationship with a taker, basically. They've been draining you, but it's caused you to retreat. And to the point where now, if somebody offers you something, it's like you're not available to receive it. You've retreated too far. Again, difficult emotions in the way, emotional blocks. You know, different messages coming through, very interesting. Again, for some of you, it's, yeah, there's something has caused you to shut down, but there are people around you who are wanting to give to you. The universe is wanting to give to you. You need to be able to both stand your ground, hold your boundaries. Again, another message coming through very clearly about boundaries. Be centered, hold your boundaries, and develop discernment. Again, you'll find videos and, well, audios about discernment if you go onto the A to Z of Emotional Health free online library. Discernment is a gift. We learn who to give to, who not, when to say no. And again, back to that series of free meditations. The last one, the bonus, is about learning to say no and why no is a really important thing to develop. No is a boundary. This is a very powerful reading, guys. Changes are afoot. You are being asked to flow into a new space of being, a boundaried space of being, where you learn to empower yourself through emotional awareness. You know when to say yes, when to say no, when to reach out, when to receive, to allow yourself to receive. Wherever you are, the new is emerging. New opportunities are coming your way. And the key here is in your own centeredness. You have worked you've been sowing seeds, and those seeds are coming to fruition. The rune of fertility, the rune of harvest. A new cycle begins. It's just that something needs to be completed right now, and that opens the doorway for possibility. But emotions have been building up, and when they build up, sometimes we end up being afraid that we're going to explode. Really the source of your empowerment is emotional awareness. It frees you up. It allows you to step into a place of motivation, but boundaried motivation. Guys, this is a very, very powerful reading. So much love to you. Please do access any of the free stuff that I do that might be of help to you. I will draw an extra name out of a hat and send somebody that book. It's a real book, it's not just a PDF, so I will get that in the post to somebody. Watch out for the announcements. I'll be making that announcement in the next few days. I will be giving a subscriber a free private reading, drawing some names for these cards as soon as they are released. And as I said, I will give away one of those books as well. And I'm just going to trust it goes to the right person. Guys, so much love to you.